If someone had come from the future and told my 16-year-old self, who was incredibly insecure and shy and dripping with low self-esteem, that she would one day be having a career as a go-go dancer in Las Vegas and then go on to perform at large music festivals like EDC with DJs such as Avicii or Moby or Rufus Do Sol or Calvin Harris, she would have looked at you and said, you are absolutely crazy. And then if this same person from the future had talked to my college self, who was very preppy, wearing Ralph Lauren polos and studying business marketing in Silicon Valley, and said, you'll one day be shaking it on stage in front of thousands of people, and that this would actually be part of your spiritual growth as a human, I would have looked at this future person and been like, what do you mean? That's insane. But this ended up being my reality. And while most of you watching are probably not going to go have a career as a go-go dancer in Las Vegas, that is a very random specific thing. There's a lot of things that sort of helped me succeed in that world, and things I learned along the way that really surprised me and were actually very enriching to me, which I never would have thought I would found in such a crazy world. But I think these are things that you can take with you in any arena of life you choose to go into. And as you embark on your spiritual journey of learning your own energy and learning to embody that and take that power into the world, I think these things can help along the way. So I've got another list today. I know you all love my lists, and without further ado, let's get into it. I will, just for fun, if anyone wants to stick around, I'll put a slideshow at the end of some of the ridiculous, crazy costumes I got to wear. They were super fun and super outrageous, so stick around to the end if you want to see those. But without further ado, number one, carry yourself like a badass. Posture is everything. This isn't just go if you're on stage. Life is your stage. Everywhere is your stage, no matter what you're doing, whether you're a teacher or a chef, or you're owning a business meeting, giving a power presentation, or you're going into, whatever task you have to do for the day. Posture and how you carry yourself sets the tone for everything, not just for how people see you, but for how you feel and see yourself. I've been a coach for 10 years. I coach competitive synchronized swimming for youth, like high school, middle school aged girls. And if there's ever a recipe for insecurity, that is it. Take, young, impressionable, very insecure girls, put them in a bathing suit, and then have a sport where they get judged. Possible recipe for disaster. So my business as a coach is to teach them how to overcome those insecurities and love themselves. And it really starts with how you carry yourself. If you have your shoulders slumped and your head down and your arms crossed and you don't feel well about yourself, that's going to carry out as a world, and that's going to carry into how you feel about yourself. When you're first starting to learn confidence, which is not an easy thing to do, how you carry yourself can really sort of fake it till you make it, if you will. Just walking into the room like, I'm, insert your name here, and I'm a badass and I have something to say. The world is your stage. This doesn't directly mean you're on stage in front of people. Maybe you're at your desk writing an article because you're a writer. It could be literally anything, but just knowing that you have inherent worth and you have something to say. You have a story to tell through the work that you're doing, and carrying your body with that value, carrying your body as if you are a celebrity, as if you are a professional athlete, as if you are one of the top speakers in the world, or whatever you're doing, that will translate into how you communicate, into how people see you, into how people see yourself, into all of your interactions, and in the work that you do. When you feel confident in yourself, that's going to translate into whatever type of work that you are producing. Number two, so kind of similar, but take up space. When I work with my young athletes, they are in a pool that's very, very big, and they're performing this routine, and they can often feel very, very small, and they're trying to communicate a story, communicate these moves to translate into something that somebody wants to watch. And it's, a judge sport, so they're looking for that score, but I try to teach that it's not about the score, it's how you feel throughout your performance in life, if you will. So when you are walking into a room or carrying yourself, imagine your energy, and this may sound kind of woo-woo, but actually modern quantum physics is really proving that your individual energy field actually extends way beyond you. And when you're in a heart space, it extends even further than beyond you. So you are not just limited to these dimensions of, okay, I'm 5'8" and whatever the hell pounds, I don't know how to scale, but I'm some sort of weight, and my arms and legs and whatever are this sort of circumference. That's a very limited view of it. If you imagine your energy field projecting out further, that exudes a certain amount of power. And when I say power, I'm not talking about dominance over other people. I say power in that you are really owning and embodying your energy and giving your best self to the world, which we all want to do. And that best self will be something different for everyone, but we all want to reach our highest potential, right? Whether it's you're a master gardener or you're even something simple like knitting. First of all, I have tried to knit. It's very hard. Someone tried to teach me. I suck. That is not my zone of genius. But maybe you're a master knitter and you can make incredible clothing or beautiful pieces for yourself or your friends. That is a wonderful skill to have. And you can be in your power doing that because you know that you have something awesome to offer and you feel aligned when you are doing that craft. But just on a day-to-day basis, whether it's your work or a hobby or you're on a first date, we all love doing those awkward first dates off of Hinge or Tinder or whatever people use. I personally don't use them. I can't get myself to do that. But that's a very intimidating thing, a job interview or whatever, a speech you have to give at work. If you imagine your energy field going bigger and beyond, and when you're giving that speech, say you're not talking to someone just 4 feet in front of you, give that speech to someone that's 40 feet out. When I was on stage in front of thousands of people, if I just looked at the little stage marker in front of me, it would have been very, very small. You have to take up space in those circumstances, but I think that translates to all of life too. Take up space, know that you have a reason for being here on this planet Earth, and you do have something to offer. And just imagine your energy going out when you are pursuing these things that you want to be doing or having the types of interactions that you want to be having. Number 3, be your own barometer. We are hardwired to seek love, validation, praise, and approval from other people. And it is, of course, it feels nice to get a compliment. It feels nice to have your boss or whoever say, hey, you did a good job. That's not a bad thing. But if you are living for that, there's a YouTuber that's been a big influence for me on helping me through a lot. He's a controversial dude, but his name is Durian Ryder if you want to check out his channel. But he says, if you live for people's approval, you will die by their rejection. And that is 100% true. If you are constantly seeking validation on the outside, when you don't get it, you're going to be crushed. Or if someone says something salty or gives the opposite of a compliment, tears you down, you're going to be crushed with that. But really, even your friends and your family, they have more credibility than, say, a stranger or someone at work that you don't know as well. But even deeper than that, you need to be your own coach, be your own barometer. You are the one that is in charge of your life and doing what you want to do. And you know when you're giving your best effort, and you know when, say, maybe you didn't. And one thing you can sort of do is coach yourself. Like if you really, really worked hard on some report or a test in school or something, and before you even get the result, give yourself credit. You know what? I just worked my ass off on that. And regardless of the outcome, regardless of what score I get, or who says what about this, or if I get in or don't, or if I get the job, know that you gave your best and check in with yourself and coach yourself. And sometimes we don't give our best. Sometimes we make mistakes, and that's okay too. And what you can do, I do this with my students, it's called kind of the sandwich technique. It's, if you make mistakes and things need to be course corrected, you do want to look at those. You don't want to just brush them aside, but you don't want to tear yourself down either. So you can do the sandwich technique. So say you really screwed up on something that day. Your report was really kind of just maybe half-assed or something, but you ended up holding a really good meeting at work that uplifted all your coworkers. So tell yourself, say, okay, you kind of did a crap job on that report, but you did a really, really good job upholding that meeting. And so what that does to your psyche is you don't completely tear yourself down. You lift yourself up, acknowledge something positive you did, and then you can still look at the things that maybe you need to do better on without like spiraling into negativity and just giving up because you think you suck at life. So sandwich technique, and be your own coach, be your own barometer. If you get outside validation, that's great, but you don't need to depend on it in whatever you're pursuing or whatever you're doing. check in with yourself. Did I give my best in this moment? Then that's a success. That is it. It doesn't matter what other people think or have to say about that. Number 4, turn off the noise. Haters gonna hate, they're out there. I've already seen some, not even, actually everyone in the comments has been extraordinarily wonderful. Thank you all so much for your support. But I've gotten, I would say like a small handful of, I'll call them salty magoos out there. And that's okay, that'll happen. Everyone's entitled to have their opinion. And when you're pursuing something in life, especially if it's maybe a little bit audacious or outside of the box or against the grain or just not what people think you should be doing, you're probably going to get a lot of hate and criticisms. Or if you're trying to do something a little bit differently, someone's always going to have something to say about it. When I was starting my dance career, I was 29 years old. I had left Cirque du Soleil and I was starting my coaching career, but I knew in my heart I still wanted to perform, and I felt a very deep calling to be a go-go dancer, as wild as that sounds. And there were 100 reasons, maybe 1,000 reasons why I shouldn't have done it. I was 29 going to auditions with 18-year-olds. I didn't think I was skinny enough or pretty enough, or I was too old, or I had a business degree and I should be doing something with that. My family all thought I was insane. They're from the Midwest. They heard dancer in Las Vegas. They thought I was going to be a stripper. They didn't understand. There were so many reasons why I shouldn't have done it. And one of the biggest critics was myself. I was coming in, and I'm sure you can relate. You have this maybe goal or dream you want to do, but then you minimize it and minimize yourself and think of all the reasons why you can't do it. And then you have the peanut gallery on the outside saying, well, that won't work, or that's a pipe dream, or you shouldn't do that, or that's not practical. That's not what adults do, blah, 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 blah. Shh, turn it off. Don't listen to it. Your heart, that is what you check in. Does this feel like something I absolutely want to do, that I'm passionate about? When you do that, you will be in alignment with your energy, and your power will grow, and you will lead a life of fulfillment when you're following something you want to do. And again, it's not always something big and grandiose. It could be something very simple. It could be something that lots of people do. But if what makes your heart called to it, then do it. And maybe you won't succeed right away. Nobody really succeeds right away. If they do, that's not even really part of our great reward. You know, the struggle and the uphill battle and the tries and fails, that's all part of the journey. And if you can just put the blinders on and shut out all of the critiques, the noise, the criticisms, the judgments, including your own, and just do it, you will grow and you will progress and you will get there. Number 5, know thyself. Part of owning your own energy is knowing who you are uniquely, and we are all very, very different and have something different to offer and different paths to make. There's as many paths in life as there are people. So when you really know who you are, and that takes time, that's part of owning your own energy, you can start to cultivate a life that is your life and in alignment with what you want to do versus what someone else says you should do, or what you think you should be doing to make good money, or blah, blah, blah. When you know truly who you are, things will start to show up in your life of like, yes, I want to follow that thread and I want to do that with my time. So it may not be something you could really answer right away. You can start by making lists, like qualities, like I am a great writer, I am a great teacher, I am a great mother, I am a great cook, or I'm a great gardener, or I'm really good at numbers and accounting and I love doing that. You know, hats off to people that can do that. I could not spend my life looking at spreadsheets, but some people like totally geek out on that and love that. So that's wonderful. Like, it's the knowing what qualities are uniquely yours and sort of seeing where you could fit that into the world. Because when you are in a place where you feel like you're giving of your best self, you absolutely will come more into alignment with being able to own your energy. It was Albert Einstein. He said, if you can't judge the genius of a fish by its ability to climb a tree. Think about that for a second. Fish are amazing, wonderful, beautiful creatures, and we would never, scold a fish and say, you have ADD because you can't climb this tree, right? That would be absurd. But we tend to do that with humans. We say, this is a box and this is the path and you need to follow it. And if you don't succeed, then you have either this disability or you're lazy or you're unsuccessful or whatever. And that's crap. It's really just, we have such different mental wiring, such different emotional wiring, such different heart wiring. you have to sort of find your own way, and then you will succeed in that. But that takes knowing who you are and knowing what you value and knowing what you would like to pursue. So journal with it, meditate on it, write lists, talk to friends. That can be helpful. What people see as a reflection in you and say, oh yeah, you've always been the great, good leader. You should be doing project management. And sometimes that can set off a light bulb. But knowing yourself first and then taking that into whatever path you want to pursue is going to pull you into alignment with your energy as well. Number 6, drop the comparison game. This is similar to shutting off the noise, but this is something awful we all do to ourselves, and it's been around since the beginning of time, but social media has made it a million times worse. This is why I let go of Instagram and other things, because I would just look at pictures of beautiful people doing beautiful things and say, well, I'm a piece of shit and I don't matter and I mean nothing. And those are dark and super terrible thoughts, but I know I'm not alone in thinking that. And especially with very young and impressionable people, they can spiral into super dark places, looking at these very curated, photoshopped, not real lives, and feel terrible about themselves, or say, well, she's skinnier than me, or he's a better basketball player than me, or she's got a better math score than me. And that is just completely detrimental. There's another quote, comparison is the thief of joy. I'm sure most people have heard that. It is 100% true. Whenever you're pursuing something or trying to curate a life that matters to you and own your energy, if you are trying to be someone else's life, someone else's path, someone else's style, someone else's job, whatever, it's going to be a losing game. It's like a Xerox machine. It's a bad copy of a copy of a copy of a copy. And yes, that was a total 90s reference. Do people even use Xerox machines anymore? I don't know. Probably not, but you get my drift on that. It's if you're trying to copy someone else's life, you'll never be them, and it will never be fulfilling to you, because that's their life and not yours. And remember, again, that everyone has something unique and beautiful and wonderful to offer. And so comparing, that fish to a bear who can climb a tree is not fair and not right. And you just need to look at what you have to offer, what is your unique story to tell, and how you can bring that to the world. Another thing I do with my students is, again, because these are 13-year-old girls being pit sort of against each other in a judge sport, it's brutal. I teach them the cookie story, and this is kind of silly, but everyone loves chocolate chip cookies, right? In my case, it would be a vegan and chocolate chip, or vegan and gluten-free chocolate chip cookie, but they do exist. Actually, my restaurant has some and they're delicious, but everyone loves cookies for the most part. And I tell the kids, I'm like, okay, what's the best part of the chocolate chip cookie? And they all raise their hand and they're like, the chocolate! And of course, that's their first reaction. It's like the quarterback of the football team, or the star cheerleader, or whatever, or the head actress of whatever movie. That's your first inclination to go for that. But no one raises their hand and says, oh, the baking soda, that's the best part of the cookie, right? Like, no one thinks about it. But if you don't have that baking soda, or whatever the recipe is, I don't bake. I don't know what I'm pretty sure baking soda goes in some cookies, but point being, that seems like a secondary, non-essential thing that no one likes to favor. However, if that baking soda wasn't there, you wouldn't have a good cookie. And that, on the whatever, football team, I can't name all the positions, the quarterback gets all the attention, but if you didn't have an awesome offensive tackle to block whoever from that quarterback being able to do his thing, the team wouldn't have the success that it's having. And it gets the wheels turning of, drop the idea that this person in this star position is better than you and whatever you're doing is non-essential. Everyone has something that we bring to the table and weave together, and there's no hierarchy. The chocolate chip is not more important than the baking soda. You need both of them to create a delicious cookie. So whatever your talent is, don't compare it to your coworker, to your friends, to whoever on Instagram, to whatever celebrity or whatever professional athlete or whatever your family is doing. Compare yourself to you. Create your own standards, create your own value system, create your own path of what you want to do to your life, and hold yourself to that. And when you're being your own barometer and knowing you're giving your best effort, then that's the success. That is the win. That is the only thing to measure by. Number 7, jump into the fire. I've been kind of alluding to this, but essentially, when you are in alignment with doing something that you are passionate about, whatever it is, again, there's no hierarchy. It's not about being a go-go dancer in Las Vegas. That was a very random, weird, specific thing that I wanted to do because it felt like my journey. It could be literally anything under the sun. It could be, maybe it's being a stockbroker, maybe it's being a stay-at-home mom, which I think is honestly the hardest job in the world. Maybe it's being a mailman because you love to be outside and connect with people and, you know, help people connect also. Like, literally anything, it doesn't matter. It's what speaks to your heart and what you want to do with your precious time here on earth. And when you follow that passion and you're spending your time each day doing something that makes you feel alive and you feel source energy moving through you, that's going to embody you into your energy the most. And that's when you will feel like yourself the most and give your best self to this world. It's very hard to give your best self to this world when you're doing something that you're not passionate about. And I get it, it is a privilege to have a job, do a job that you're passionate about. That's not always an option up front for people. It can take time to get there, or you may never be able to get there. But that doesn't mean you can't find things in your life that you are passionate about. Maybe it's just reading books and you're or film. Like, I have a friend at work, she was a film major and she doesn't have a career in film, but she loves to watch movies and then dissect them and talk about with people. And then she weaves it into sort of history lessons, and she gives this awesome energy to the world when she does that. And that's her passion. And is she making money from it? No, but it doesn't matter. That's her being in alignment with what makes her feel alive. And then she's bringing awesome energy to the world from that. So when you jump into that fire space, that heart space, whatever makes you feel most connected to being alive as a human and gets you the most excited, that's going to pull you into your best self, pull you into your power energy, and help you give the greatest version of yourself to this world. And it's not about perfection. One of the most spiritual healing things for me as a dancer I experienced was, it was not about, you know, as a go-go dancer, if you don't know roughly, it's all freestyle. We're not doing choreography up there like what I had to do in all of my earlier years as a performing artist and competitive synchronized swimmer. It's very like black and white, this on count 8, you know, perfectly matched, whatever. But then with go-go, it was just 100% freestyle. And what it is who are you in this moment? And what do you have to give in this moment? And there's no planning, there's no premeditation of whatever. It's just getting your head out of the way and connecting to what the DJ is doing, and then giving of your deepest soul in that moment. And it's not about this perfectly choreographed or technical thing. It's about just energy coming through you. And I think that can translate to anything you're doing in life. It's not about the perfection of it, because perfection doesn't exist, but it's about the passion coming through. And when you are doing these things and you feel that energy that makes you feel alive, you're going to embody your best self and have the best experience you can in life. Okay, so that is the video for today, kind of a different one, but let me know if this resonated at all. I would love to see everyone own their energy and their power in this life and bring their best selves to the world so that we can all find happiness and alignment and lift each other up. Thank you for watching, and as promised, here is the slideshow of some of the crazy costumes I got to wear. Enjoy that, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.